Koto katoa. Jayco Flaherty and Brandy Richardson with you here for what is a little bit of a confusing start to a test match. We're still at the anthems now, and well, I'm about as confused as a Catholic reading the Quran because, someone didn't pay the power bill, Bradley, and we're starting a little later than we should.
Yeah, well, it's Dunedin, so it doesn't surprise me. Maybe they just forgot to turn the light switch on. You never know. They are a bit different down there.
Yes, well, the second test of Rugby Championship 2017 sees the All Blacks play host to the Wallabies in the Glass House at Dunedin. Well, it's the South of the South. Not really, no, that probably doesn't really make sense. It made some perfect sense in my head just before I was about to say it. But let's make sense of this Wallabies team, and we go through that now. Scott Seo, Stephen Moore, and Alan Alalatoa in the front row with Rob Simmons, Rory Arnold to back them up. Ned Hannigan plays his fifth test tonight. Michael Hooper alongside him. Sean McMahon and Will Genia with Bernard Foley, Henry Spate, Kurtley Beale, Tavita Kurandrani, Dane Haylett-Petty from the Western Force. We'll talk about that surely throughout the game. And Israel Folau and the bench, Tatafu Polota. Tom Robertson, Sekope Kepu is on the bench for this one, and a little bit of a surprise pick. Alan Alatoa makes it on at 3, of course. Isaac Rodder, Lopeti Tamani, Nick Phipps, Reece Hodge, Curtis Rona. Well, Bradley, this is a pretty decent Wallabies team, but of course we talk about Dane Haylett-Petty, the Western Force. They are gone, and you made mention to it before that you're surprised that the Wallabies can afford their kit after being sued by the Western Force.
Yeah, the Western Force got kicked out of Super Rugby, trying to get it back in, so they're trying to get rid of all Australian rugby's money, because that's, I think, the logical reaction after you get kicked out of such a big competition.
Well, I suppose it's like being, denied to go and, have fun with your mates. Your parents kind of put the foot down. I suppose you've got to maybe, punch a wall or something, do some real damage and make them question what is going on. We take a look at the All Blacks team, though, and it starts off with Joe Moody, Dane Coles in his 50th test. Nepo Laulala makes his fifth appearance for the All Blacks. Brodie Retallick, Sam Whitelock with Liam Squire, Sam Kane and Kieran Reid, the skipper, making up the forwards. Aaron Smith, Bowden Barrett in the halves with Rico Ioane, Sonny Bill Williams, Ryan Crotty, Ben Smith and Damien McKenzie after that. The reserves, Cody Taylor, Kane Hames, Offa Tuangafasi, Scott Barrett, Adi Savia, TJ Perenara, Lima Sopuaga and Anton Leonard-Brown plays his 15th tonight. If he gets on, they've played 159 times, these two teams. The All Blacks, the clear favourites tonight. 4 draws. The Wallabies have won 42, and the All Blacks have taken 110. Wallabies, they're up against a pretty hard outfit here tonight, Bradley.
Yeah, the All Blacks, they were firing last week, scored 54 points on the Australians. A little bit of it went weary in the second half, so they'll be looking to resurrect and amend themselves in that department.
Yes, well, the last win that the Wallabies had was way back in 2015, a 27-19 result. But last weekend, a convincing win, although I think a lot of people don't understand that the Wallabies, Bradley, they did still score 34 points.
Yeah, they ran away with the points in the second half a bit, so scoreboard didn't really show how the game worked, but I think it's going to be a lot different this week. The Australians they're not going to want to lose by as much. They're going to want to put in a solid performance. They're going to want to bring a bit of pride back to their jersey as they form a little bit of a weird triangle for the haka. I think they did that last week. They always try something different, does this Australian team.
Yeah, well, I suppose you've got to combat this and force a little bit of a counter-attack. I know maybe, there we go. Sekope Kepu has his hands on his hips. Well, Bradley, if you're up against a haka, there is nothing more, if you're doing a haka, there is nothing more intimidating than a big man with his hands on his hips.
Yeah, especially when they hit his arms. It goes a little bit wild, doesn't it?
Amen, it does. The haka ends, and, they're probably going to have another little korero, the teams, and take more time because, my God, it's been a strange one tonight. And we look at the match officials for today. Well, Nigel Owens comes in after a little bit of a strange happening, and the Welshman will control another All Blacks match with Wayne Barnes, Andrew Brace from Ireland, and Ryan Kitt, the television match official. Well, we're all set. We are 15 minutes late, but we are ready to go for this Bledisloe Cup match.
The ball's about to kick off. Hopefully it goes into the air and it doesn't turn into a bit of a kick grubber, as you see sometimes, especially when the ground's wet on a bit of a shit field.
Yeah, well, we don't want to see any of that tonight, but I'm sure we won't under the glass house. Do you think anyone's tried to hotbox this place, Bradley?
I think it's probably crossed the mind a lot of students down there.
Well, the zoo is off tonight, and we're finally into the game. Kicked off, and the All Blacks get it back. Sam Whitelock takes it 40. He's had a bit of a haircut, so that's interesting to look at. Beauden Barrett flicks it off to Sam Cane in the midfield. Approaching the 22 now, the All Blacks. They fire it wide. Interception! Oh, blimey, jingos! Well, this is going to be an opening try within the first 30 seconds to Israel Folau. Oh my God!
Holy shit, the All Blacks hot in attack. Straight off the kickoff, they got it. They flung it to the right-hand side, straight into the hands of Israel Folau, and he bolts off down the field with Beauden Barrett chasing. Not quite enough space for him to get there. And the Australians take their first lead in the Rugby Championship.
Well, it's been bloody. That's a try that's happened quicker than you could say Cornelius drinks Ribena. Goodness gracious, beautiful intercept by Israel Folau, and that's got me jazzed up, I'll give you that much. I did have a Red Bull this afternoon, but oh my God, there is nothing that gets you going like a great intercept try. It wasn't Brian Habana, but it was Israel Folau, and nothing's going to stop a big guy like that after a beautiful catch. He didn't have too much butter on his toast this morning, and he was all go in the hands.
That's a bit adventurous of you to have the Red Bull. You're really prepping yourself after this. You're a bit lively tonight, Jake. You're really energetic.
Oh, well, I am now because of bloody Israel Folau. I think we might have a bloody show on our hands. The Wallabies, 5. New Zealand, 0. As Bernard Foley is going to take the kick, and Bradley Richardson will very intimately take you through it.
Yeah, he's not quite the facial expressions of a Damien McKenzie, but he sways back and forth a bit. Does a little bit of an arm movement. He's staring deliciously at the ball like it's a cake that he's about to devour. And he gets ready to kick it, as you do as a kicker. He steps forward, chased by the All Blacks, don't quite get there, and he's a bit of a low kick, and it's missed. It's gone to the right-hand upright, and Australia, they take a lead, but only a 5-0 lead at that.
Yeah, well, and we take another look at it. We only had one phase in the game, and, well, he came out of nowhere like a thief in the night and stole that one away. It was probably a 14-point try, to be fair, because if that had gone over him, I probably would have said that Ben Smith would have got a meat pie at the other end of the field. They kick off again, they try it, and, well, 2 minutes later they try again, and now the Wallabies take it off the kickoff, though, and it's Scott Seo who does so. Flicked along, and I think it's Ned Hannigan gets a touch, but a penalty to the All Blacks, and Wayne Barnes has said, look, mate, I think I'm going to have a bit of an interjection in the game. He says, Nige, put your arm in the air, and he does so. So there you go. Jacob Flaherty and Bradley Richardson with you, taking you through this Bledisloe Cup match. And I think Beauden Barrett, maybe he thinks of flicking it through the H.
It'd be stupid not to take the points. Beauden Barrett, as you say that, they've gone to kick it for touch. They're going adventurous this match. They're riding their high horse straight into this one.
Well, Barrett pumps it into the 22, and he's probably about 10 to 15 metres out from the try line on the near side of the field of the camera stand, and it'll be the All Blacks to get an opportunity to attack for the first time in the game like so. They flick it down. Aaron Smith finds Barrett. A little bit of a short ball on the burst to Sonny Bill Williams. Forward pass, we'll have a scrum. Well, this has been a bit of a hectic and somewhat stop-start first 3.5, 4 minutes.
Yeah, but anticlimactic from the All Blacks on attack. First you got the intercept, then you got a blatant forward pass. No idea where you'd give that. Sonny Bill Williams caught it in bloody next week, for God's sakes.
Well, we'll have a scrum, and any front row will be absolutely blimmin' excited I was going to use a synonym for excited, but the word lost me, and I just had to go back to what I knew, what was just instinct reaction sort of thing.
You've clearly never played in a front row because you don't get excited for a scrum.
Oh, well, come on. It's a bit of a chance to link arms and have a bit of a shunt with the opposition. They throw it in, Will Kenya does. The shunt comes on from the All Blacks. Beautiful between the legs play, and now they fling it wide. Rieko Ioane tries to throw it back in, but Kurtley Beale has obstructed that. But the All Blacks will get a line out 5 metres out, and this is a real attacking opportunity for the All Blacks.
Yeah, it's been a great escape from both teams so far. Attack looking prominent from the All Blacks, but can't quite finish it early. Brilliant scrum there, popped out the back by Kieran Reid. Throws a wide ball out to Rieko Ioane, just taken into touch by an Australian hand.
The line out goes, bit of a counter maul there by the Australians, so it's peeled off by the All Blacks. They go to ground and it's ruck time now. Brodie Retallick, the big giraffe, the ugliest man in world rugby according to us, takes it down to the 5 metre line. They flick it along again. Now they're dead centre in the middle of the field. 5 metres out from the line, the All Blacks. Inside Australian territory. They flick it to the backs. Beauden Barrett can't make the advantage line. Once again, they go the same way. They work it right. Now they're on the far side of the field, the 15 metre line. Bit of a worked play, but he's lost it forward as Sonny Bill Williams. And the Wallabies get the pill. They fire it back to Kurtley Beale. And he's got a bit of a toe on him, more toe than a Roman sandal, I'd say, and he pumps that, but he can't find the touchline. Beauden Barrett goes for a bit of a dance. Comes crashing down, though. Now they fire it left. Midfield, about 40 metres out. Backdoor to Dane Coles. Now Liam Squire in his hometown pitch. Can't quite link up. They go to ground again, the All Blacks. Smith finds McKenzie after Retallick. He's a bit of a hungus today as Brodie Retallick getting his hands on the ball in this first 7 minutes or so. Smith works it right now. They're in centre field. 20 metres out from the line, inside Australian territory. Owens is waving his arms, sort of doing the Macarena. Wouldn't be surprised. The All Blacks, once again, on the 8th phase, they can retain this ball very well, the All Blacks. Midfield. But it's lost once more by Sonny Bill Williams. Well, I think he has had too much butter on his toast this morning. And that goes through his hands. The Wallabies get it and they kick it out. And, we get to have a bit of a break in play.
Yeah, Kurtley Beale skewed the absolute shit out of that kick. Came off the side of the boots. It just went out just past the 22 metre line, I'd say, in between the 22 and the 10. Good attacking position for the All Blacks once again.
Well, quick line out taken and then flicked off, and now the All Blacks have it again. Sonny Bill Williams loses it forward for the 3rd time in the match. And this is actually kind of making me think whether he has Vaseline on his hands. I don't know why he would have Vaseline on his hands, but he might, because that is going through it like a bloody sift.
Not quite sure what's happened there. The Australians threw a forward pass, but I think their advantage might have been over, and it'll be an All Blacks scrum. We'll wait and see the referee's decision. Sonny Bill Williams is not happy with himself. You can see the facial expression on his face. He's dropped plenty of ball tonight already, and we're only 8 minutes into this match.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity, though, because time is off. And Dane Coles is down. Not really great from him. Not at all, but that does give the opportunity for the medic to come on and give Sonny Bill Williams some grip tech to let that ball stick to his hands.
He might actually chuck some Aaron Smith gloves on.
Oh, well, yeah. No, it's cold. I mean, sometimes down in Dunedin, it's so cold it makes a bloomin' Eskimo shiver. So you would assume that a halfback, of all people, would have a pair of gloves to chuck on every now and then if he wants to.
Aaron Smith's got a hell of a lot of pair of gloves, not necessarily for rugby, for keeping his fingerprints off so they can't find him if he's been in a toilet or not, but that's a matter for another day.
That is actually, obviously, border. Actually, we kind of could talk about it now because it's quite topical, I would say. So, well, I suppose we're not going to because we've got a rugby game to commentate though, so touche.
Good call there, mate.
Thank you, you. Played 159 times, I've mentioned that before. 69% of that has been won by the All Blacks. And They are hefty favourites tonight, although you're only as good as your last play. And the All Blacks, well, are at 0 and the Aussies are at 5. So let's see how that one goes. Kenya finds the try scorer Folau, does a bit of a goose step and takes it down to the ground. Works it the opposite way now. Hooper, he's on the deck. Advantage comes for off his feet. And they're going to work this around the Wallabies. Intercepted by Sonny Bill Williams, but of course come back for the penalty. And the Aussies, well, they'll get the opportunity to bang it deep in their half and play some territory game.
Bang it deep in their half? Don't you mean the All Blacks half?
Same shit, different smell, almost.
I'm pretty sure the field on both sides would smell the same unless they, in case there's blind players, they can sniff what side of the field they're on.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Don't quite know how blind rugby would work.
I think it's just a rattle in the ball.
I feel as if it could get dangerous, the canes flying everywhere.
No, I don't think they bring the canes onto the field. I think they just have a whole bunch of guide dogs.
I reckon it would probably turn out to be kind of like a game of bull rush, to be fair, because no one would know if they're onside or offside.
No, I don't think they actually play tackle. I think they just play touch. I've actually seen a blind game of touch.
Yeah, well, you could play a touch game of bull rush. Anyway, we get back to the game. Steve Moore is about to throw in. He does so, and he finds Rory Arnold. Hooper flicks it off to Tavita Kurandrani. He scored a try in the World Cup final that these two teams met in, and a beautiful try at that as a seagull somehow is floating away, and it goes into touch after the kick. Bradley, please enlighten me, how the hell did a seagull get into this enclosed stadium?
You just reminded me that the stadium's actually enclosed. There are actually gaps because people actually need to get in and out of the stadium, so I think it might have flown in one of those.
So the people don't come with the stadium?
No, you don't. It's not like a 2-for-1 deal.
Oh, okay. Roger that. Well, Mackenzie looks like he was the guy that pushed it out. And
Stephen Moore's got his mitts on the ball, so you are correct in that statement.
Yeah, Wayne Barnes has gone to Specsavers lately. He doesn't need glasses, and so he calls the right call. Hooper off the back. Uses his strength, goes through. Oh, crikey, Dak. The Aussies have got 2 in a row. Well, this is brilliant. And Michael Hooper goes over. Well, he kind of found himself with some real estate in hand, and he damn well put his name to it and scored the try.
Well, I'll tell you what, it must have been a planned move from the Aussies because they said an absolutely horrible move. Rory Arnold got caught floating up with his legs in the air. It fell to pieces, and Michael Hooper found himself with no one in front of him, so he just had a 10-metre dart to the try line and scored.
Well, God, that's amazing. Never would have picked the All Blacks to concede the first 2 tries, and certainly in the first 10 minutes of all places. The score still is 10 points to 0. It could be 12, and maybe in about 30 seconds I could say it could be 14. But the Australians, they are looking hot. But it's all when they're down in their end, they seem to finish it off. Once they got the ball in hand, they know what they're doing with it. But the All Blacks, they are playing this game well. They are dominating, but the Australians really capitalising on their opportunities so far.
Yeah, All Blacks have had some almost 3 times as many opportunities to get some points on the board than the Australians, but the Australians just doing a much better job at taking the opportunities that arise. It's something that they didn't do last week. The Aussies, I've said the Aussies a lot tonight. That's because Australia's actually playing in this match. Who's the kicker? Bernard Foley.
Yeah, well, you should know that.
I do have a team sheet in the end. Yeah, but he slots it, and the Aussies move out to 12.
Well, are you one of those blind people? Is that why you brought it up before?
Yeah.
So you actually can't really understand what the hell's going on right now?
No, I'm actually just guessing the score as well.
Oh, crikey. Well, you're doing a good job. Artie Savia comes on. He's running on. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Maybe he's just giving a lot of high fives.
I think he might have come into the game. Sam Cane's come off. Probably a concussion check.
I would assume so. Pretty hard test to pass, even if you're sober. They kick off to the All Blacks, and it comes down to Rory Arnold. Bit of a maul mounted. Comes down eventually, though. And Will Kenya flicks it to Bernard Foley. And he's charging forward. Kenya. Back to, he's back to someone. And the All Blacks try to recollect this pill. They can't, though. Flicked off, and now It's Scott Seo. Inside the 22 they go, the Australians. Big opportunity again. Can they capitalise like they have the last 2 times? Advantage comes. Off to Kurtley Beale. They fire it left out to the wing. Kurandrani goes to the deck. Beale plays halfback. Foley fires it to Ned Hannigan in his 5th match. The big lock forward. Kenya once more. Off to Shrek, or as his real name goes, Steve Moore. Advantage comes to the New Zealanders after a lost forward. And now they go for a dart. Rico Ioane, the very young All Black player, he takes it forward, but he's lost it forward, and now we'll have a scrum.
This game's been an absolute helter-skelter start. The Aussies well on top. They're looking so ominous when they get the ball in their hands. It's scrappy from them. Scrappy play. They're getting scrappy ball from the All Blacks from the turnovers, and they're just finding a way to use it. Israel Foley tried to get a bit too fancy with that offload, ended up losing it forward, but the All Blacks make another silly error, and they turn the ball over once again.
Yeah, well, I think it's time for a break almost, because my goodness, it's been mentioned in our chat by Ben that Aussie is bad. The All Blacks are just going easy. Well, do you think that's feasible, Bradley?
Maybe they just know that the referee's going to call last try win, so they're saving a bit in the tank.
Javed Khan says it's going to be 47 points to 17. Javed, you've actually not said who's going to win. So
that's an important part of predicting a score.
I'm just waiting. Javed, if you're there, can you tell us who's going to win? That'd be much appreciated and we can carry on. Brad, did you turn the time off?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. It's good to see you're on it. Javed says All Black to drawing board. Okay. Oh, and then someone else has said, Ben, shut the F up. Oh, Warren. Okay. Struth. Warren says that we suck.
Do we?
I don't know. I know I don't, Bradley. What about yourself?
I might just a little bit. No, like suck at commentary.
Oh, okay. That was not what I was meaning.
Oh, right.
Nonetheless, we'll swiftly move on because this is turning more awkward than a straight man in a gay bar. Will Genia about to put it into the scrum to get it back underway. He does so, and the All Blacks shunt it forward. My God, that's a bloody scrum and a half. But now the Australians capitalise, and Will Genia goes on for a dart. He finds Hooper. He passes it off to Bernard Foley. Bernard Foley scores the try. The Australians go back to back to back. And this is absolutely pandemonium in Dunedin.
Holy shit. The Australians got absolutely mauled. They got pushed back 5, 7, 8 metres on that scrum. They managed to just get it out. Will Genia had an absolute dart upfield. Up to the 22, we offloaded it to the waiting Bernard Foley. Breaks a couple tackles, outpaces the All Black defenders and goes out for the Wallabies' 3rd try in just only 13 minutes.
Well, my God. And a monstrous scrum to the point where we could actually see Rob Simmons' budgie smugglers because his shorts were thrusted up. You could see he was wearing some striped budgie smugglers. And to capitalise on that, Bradley, this is just the story of their night, but oh, wait up, because we've got Nigel Owens on the screen. He's going to have a chat to the TMO. Much to the delight of the New Zealand crowd, this might not be. Well, Bradley, what do you think of that? Because that's a scrum penalty all day. But has it lost? Yeah, okay, Brady, talk us through this.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's come squirting out the back of the Australian scrum. We're just looking for a knock-on from Will Genia. It might have come off the foot. Yeah, it's come off the leg of Will Genia. His hand hasn't touched it. Then he's picked it up. And it's gone. He's gone upfield. Nigel Owens came running out of the way. I don't think they can call anything for the scrum here. But Will Genia definitely has not touched that ball, and it's looking like this try is going to be confirmed for the Australians, and the All Blacks, they've got to be a bit shell-shocked after that start.
I see what they're doing. Well, it's also possible that it may be an infringement of the scrum too. Nigel Owens comes on field, on the screen rather. It's not clear and obvious, says George Ayub. However, The try's good. The try stands. And Australia officially have 3 to their name. And Bernard Foley will get his name in the score sheet tomorrow in the New Zealand Herald. But I tell you what, Chris Ratu won't be writing some pleasant stuff about the All Blacks' first 15 minutes. This has been hell. 17 plays 0. The Australians on fire in their ability to capitalise on their opportunities.
Yeah, well, they were talking about the post-match ceremony for the Bledisloe Cup before this match had even started, but I think they might be, starting to pack up the stage and shit, because it's not looking so certain that the All Blacks are going to take home the Bledisloe Cup tonight. The Wallabies have come rip-roaring. It's looked like they maybe snorted some cocaine before this match, because they've come out and they're absolutely fizzing.
Off the posts is the conversion. So he's missed a couple tonight, has Bernard Foley. He's only at 33%, although he has scored a try. So I suppose you can somewhat say he's made up for the 4 points he's missed.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be too worried about missing those points at this point of time.
Well, they might if they lose by 2. But anyway, we get underway again. The All Blacks flick it through and Curtly Beale picks it up. Kenya, the bloody ancient fossil of Australian rugby, lost forward by Shrek. And the All Blacks have the ball. Line defence good by Australia. But they've got advantage as I say that. Only for a knock on though. Smith finds Adi Savia. And he's lost it, but we'll go back for the scrum. And Nigel Owens, well, he refereed a schoolboy game in the week, Bradley.
Yeah, an under-15s one. It was in Auckland, so that was a little bit weird, because he's refereeing this game as Dunedin, and that would have been a quick trip down. Do you reckon he maybe drove in maybe a wicked camper?
Well, I'd probably think either that or he used a juicy caravan.
Maybe he just got himself a 4-wheel drive for a couple grand.
Maybe. Well, while we have the opportunity, guys, who is going to win this game? There's two parts to this question. Who's going to win this game and who's going to win tomorrow? McGregor versus Mayweather. Crikey Dick, that is going to be a humdinger, a showdown of the century.
You just told me like half an hour ago you couldn't give 2 shits about that fight.
I couldn't, but I suppose it's apparently someone told me that it was a big deal.
Well, it's going to be the biggest fight in history.
SP, Struth. Mate, you're making us scared with all the very big language you're using. The New Zealanders have the feed to the scrum. On the burst goes Mackenzie, but they've lost it. Now the Wallabies have it. Inside the 10 and the 50 of their own territory, the Wallabies, they flick it down through way of Bernard Foley, and a good kick. Mackenzie scrambles upon it. Back into the sky it goes. And that's a beautifully placed kick. And the ball stays in though. The Wallabies allow it to. Beale. This crowd's loving it here in Dunedin. And a penalty comes to the All Blacks, holding on. And I think it might have been Kieran Reid that forced the jackal. But 40 metres out, reasonably in front. Do you think, Bradley, that this is an opportunity to get some points on the board?
Yeah, well, you're 19 minutes into a match and you're 17-0 down already. I think you've got to go for the try. You've got to try and get your own one back. And I don't think 3 points will do it for them, and it won't as they look to pin it to the corner.
17 plays 0 as we approach 20 minutes. Well, I'm genuinely scared. That's a decent kick by Barrett. That's a beautiful kick. 5 metres out, they'll have an attacking line out. Yeah, and this is perfect for the forwards to work a play. They go for the try. That's what they want, Javed. Yeah, I can't believe the score either, George Wilson. They go to Brodie Retallick. The more stationary, but they can get it going in the end. Peeled off. I can't quite see who has it. Goes to ground. They throw it into Ned Hannigan. And surely that's a penalty try. That we are in some serious turmoil in the game of rugby if that's not a penalty try. And offside at ruck time, Ned Hannigan, he was trying to get back onside. Aaron Smith passes the ball, wants to pass it to Ioane. But no, Nigel Owens shakes his head as his assistant referee tries to tell him otherwise. He's none of it. That's a big call.
They'll go to the corner again, and they'll look to get another maul going. As we look at what happened here, the lazy running from Ned Halligan, the 5th match for him. He needs to sort that shit out because that was horrible. He's lucky to stay on the field after that one.
Yeah, well, they try again, do the All Blacks. They go to the back this time, and Squire has it. Stationary again. Good counter shunt by the Wallabies. They go sideways now, the All Blacks. Aaron Smith tries to clear it. Back inside, Ioane goes over the line and gets the try. The first for the All Blacks. Well, he was denied before, but he gets this one. Try time to the All Blacks.
Yeah, it's simple stuff here. All Blacks set them all. They had it in there for a while, got close to the line but couldn't quite get there. And then Aaron Smith, he takes it off the bat. He goes to the right a little bit and an inside line from Rieko Ioane. Simple pass ball. Beats one man, takes one man over the line, and he gets his first try for the All Blacks.
Yeah, well, the All Blacks needed it, but the Wallabies have been on fire in this opening 20 minutes. Absolutely beautiful play from them, and finally, the All Blacks can capitalise on their opportunity, but it's taken them a few times, which is somewhat of a contrast of this absolutely scintillating Wallabies side.
Yeah, it's the All Blacks. They're looking ominous when they get some plays together, but it just hasn't happened so far this match. They're going to get a bit of a rack up from Shag at halftime, I'm assuming. They're going to have to be a bit more cynical with their rugby.
Well, I assume that Michael Cheika can be as happy as a pig in shit right now. But although the New Zealanders have just scored a try, so we'll see how this one pans out. 22 gone, Beauden Barrett to kick it. Does so, he shags it. No, he doesn't. The flags are up.
It's 7 points to 17 now. All Blacks get their first try. They're going to be looking for another quick one to sort of even things up and get back on that even playing field. As we look at Sam Cane, he looks devastated, almost crying. He's not making it back on tonight, and you've got to assume that's a few weeks off of that concussion.
Well, this is what any rugby fan of Australia wanted to see, but it's a New Zealand worst nightmare. Bernard Foley. Drop kicks it. We're back underway, under the roof. Goes down and the Wallabies scramble upon it to get it back, but Sam Whitelock has it. He finds I want to say Digby Ioane, but it's Rieko Ioane. Quite a bit of a different person there. Smith in midfield on the 50-metre line. Cross kick by Barrett. That's vintage Barrett. But it's into the hands of Dane Haylett-Petty. Kenya rallies the troops. They've got advantage to the Wallabies. And they decide to call on the fatties. They work it into the pocket, but time is off. And we're going to the TMO. Brady Richardson, the assistant referee's coming on. We might go to the TMO subsequently. But this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and this might just add to the woes even more of the All Blacks. They had the advantage. Not quite sure it was for the same incident. We're about to find out. The AR on the close side, opposite to the commentary box we are not in, has found something on the game. And Brodie Retallick, God, he's an ugly man. Let's just hope it wasn't him, because I love seeing him on a rugby field. Could quite possibly be a neck roll. Dane Cole's come in. Sort of an elbow to the face to Ned Hannigan, but not really. But I'm going to assume it's a yellow card since this is 2017 rugby.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, probably wouldn't be surprised with a yellow card there. Definitely a penalty. But Dane Cole's silly stuff. And, that's just stupid.
Well, it's an elbow to the face. Is that even worse than a yellow?
Well, I can't see that as a red. Just
Neither,
personally.
but you never know what can happen.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say definite yellow card for sure.
I would have to agree. We're agreeing on a card for once. This is groundbreaking shit.
Well, someone write it in their history books, because this is a first. The two commentators agreeing on something, whereas we take a hell of a long look at this replay. Rowan Kitt, he's wanting to see his name up on the corner of the TV screen, I guarantee.
He's just admiring it. He's letting the folks at home take a picture. They should even have a bloody camera in the TMO box, for God's sakes. Then he could bloody write home and tell his grandkids about it. To take another look at it. Shit, this is about the 5th or 6th replay they've gone through. They're looking at something else now.
Yeah, well, crikey. Just get on with the bloody game. Send Dane Coles to the bin and get on with the game. Because this game has not been stop and start. This game, through way of the Wallabies, has been outstanding.
He's been dropped on his head in the background. Can you see that?
No.
It's going to be a...
Well, he's having a bit of a talk. Bradley Richardson talk us through it.
Well, it doesn't look like anyone's going to get carded because Nigel Owens hasn't called anyone over. Jake's trying to see what happened. We're walking back to a spot. Not quite sure what the penalty is for. They had looked at quite a few different things. There was a tip tackle on the head. There was a... Oh, This is gobsmacking. They've given a penalty to the All Blacks where the ball's landed. What the hell is this for? They're running back and forth, side to side. It looks like it's just going to be a scrum.
Oh, this is a horrible decision. This is horrible.
How can you tip tackle someone on their head?
Well, look at that. Look at what Michael Cheika is...
I'm 100% with Michael Cheika. You can't tip tackle someone on their head and nothing happens.
As well as an elbow to the face. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is a travesty to what this game has been. Yes, it may be, sensible in the fact that, you play a game in the 1950s. This is 2017. He needs to be sent to the bin at the very least. This is unfortunate for the Wallabies. But they keep their heads up and carry on as time is back on. And we carry on through the scrum. Foley, bit of a chip kick across, and that's gone backwards. Dangerous there. But Dane Haylett-Petty scrambles upon it. Luckily gets it, but Nigel Owens will go back to have a penalty at scrum time.
Yeah, Australia is getting one back at this scrum. Their scrum's just been holding in the first couple, and they find a way to eke out a penalty. Adi Savia looks to be the man that's penalised, and they'll boot it downfield and look to set another attacking opportunity. Maybe still a bit rattled after what's just gone on because it's been some horrible refereeing decisions. In my eyes, some people probably won't agree. People tend to not agree with me in many things. As Bernard Foley shakes the ball a little bit. He boots it downfield with his right foot, not a left foot kicker, and the flag will go up as it always does.
Only when the ball goes out though, remember?
Or the ball goes through the post.
True. Truth. Well, the All Blacks Wallabies, Bledisloe Cup on the line. She's all go. And the Wallabies are looking ominous tonight more than ever, which is brilliant to see. They need this. This is a big night for them. Not only the team, but the whole union. And they're in midfield, relatively. 10-metre line of All Blacks territory. They've had some good territory statistics tonight. Kenya fires it left. Now we're on the far side of the field. Foley goes to ground. Kenya again. Taken, though, by the opposition. A little bit hesitant to pass. Flicks it along to Henry Spate, a man who played for the Hamilton Old Boys Rugby Club back in his day. They won the Waikato comp this year. He'll be happy with that, although Australian rugby is where he's at the moment. Kenya on the 9th phase now. They are stringing this along well. Kurandrani onto the 22-metre line. They're looking a little bit lateral, but they are still making the advantage line each time. In midfield now. Firing it left. I've got an overlap, but can't work it. Not enough space. And once more, they're on the deck. On the 22-metre line. Steve Moore. Big Shrek has the pill. Can't force a turnover. Can Liam Squire, so they go again. 14 phases mounted. Now they fire left. Little bit of an intercept. But, well, look at that. Nigel Owens. He's gotten a call from his assistant. And he's not happy with it as Michael Cheika for some reason.
He's had a lot to cheer about, but things have taken a little bit of a twist against his team. Even if he gets the decision that he's complaining about, he still complains about it and throws his hand up in the air like, what the hell's going on?
I think it's fair to say that Michael Cheika would be angry and put his hand in the air and go, what's going on, even if his team won the World Cup.
Yeah, that was stupid play from Ben Smith, though. He's come in and he's tackled Israel Folau before the ball's even 2 metres near him. He chucks his hands in the air, typical trait from an Australian, wondering what the hell's going on. And the ref knows what the hell's going on, and he calls a penalty, and I'm sure the Australians will take the 3 points.
Definitely. Well, Ryan Crotty's not looking good. It's a head knock to him. He'll be going off. And Anton Leonard-Brown, he'll come on for his 15th match in the All Black jersey. He made his debut in Wellington last year alongside Reece Hodge. He actually made his debut that day as well, so they're both on a 14. More than likely going to both play their 15th tonight.
Yeah, great. Anton Leonard-Brown. Some people think he should be starting for the All Blacks. I don't think he's quite there. Ryan Crotty has been an absolute star every time he's played. The All Blacks have won, but he's going to go and make a tackle on Tavita. Kurandrani, who slipped down in the knees, just absolutely sconed him in the side of the head, and it's not a good type of scone. It's one of those cheese ones that you buy from the supermarket that's a couple days old that no one really wants.
Yeah, well, those ones that are sort of under the 50-cent threshold, you never seem to want them. And Bernard Foley, he will look to extend it out to 20 points to 7 as I try and work Instagram. I don't know what the hell I'm doing on this thing, Bradley.
Are you putting me on Instagram?
Yeah, on the PYJAMA account. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter at PYJAMANZ and on Instagram at PYJAMA. Yes, we do have that handle. We're very stoked because of it. Can he work it round off the post again for the second time of the night? But the Wallabies look over. They've got the ball. They're appealing for the try. Wayne Barnes is trying to talk to Nigel Owens through the comms, but they're in the infield now. I'm bloody lost for words. Once again, the Wallabies on attack, but no, Nigel Owens says no. He's going to go back for the knock on.
Do you really get an advantage after kicking it?
Well, in this case, I think he does. Michael Cheika is laughing.
Hey, they've not been happy with the referee tonight. I'm expecting a scathing post-match interview for him. As we have a look here. Oh, he just knocks it on before putting it over the line. Oh, so close. You can see the expression on the face from Scott Seo. That could have been try number 4 for the Wallabies. Henry Spate, sorry. The hair's two the same. Two alike. You just can't tell the difference between some of them. It's like comparing a rock to a stone. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah, well, they'll have a scrum. And the All Blacks, well, I've been dominant scrum time tonight, Bradley.
Yeah, of course, but the last one when the Australians got the penalty, they've escaped. Just have the Wallabies as we look to set another one. They're in a dominant position just 5 metres out from the All Blacks touchline. They've got a bit of a shunt on and they're pushing the All Blacks backwards, but they just get it out and Damien McKenzie's going to boot it downfield.
He's had a haircut, Damien McKenzie, and he kind of looks like a naked rat at the moment. Well, not a naked one, because most of them are, but a rat without hair, I should say. The Wallabies have the pill and they continue to go. Now about 25 metres out, the far side of the field, they have the ball in New Zealand territory. Genya fires it to Tavita Kurandrani. He finds Bernard Foley. In fact, it's Kurandrani out on the wing. Goes on a bit of a tirade. And now they work it again. The Australians, they are looking dangerous. They lose it backwards, however. And now the New Zealanders scramble upon it. And he's lost it forward, has the New Zealanders, through way of, I think it was Brodie Retallick. So the Aussies, they get another shot at this.
Yeah, the Aussies must have done some voodoo shit before the start of this match, because everything seems to be falling into place for them. Everything seems to be going their way. All Blacks, they haven't had a good go of it so far. They've been a bit unlucky. But the Wallabies, it just comes down to brass knuckles, and they've played better so far. Not what you would expect coming into this match after a bit of a drubbing they got last week, but they really made some improvements, and they're playing an immensely quick game, and the All Blacks just haven't found a way to keep up yet.
I finally find a way to post it to the Instagram story. So go and have a look if you want to see some interesting things. We won't tell you what we've posted, but I'm sure you will be satisfied.
I just had a look myself. I actually had no idea. I think my nose makes an appearance, so that's always good to see.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, anyway, the Aussies, I don't know why I call them the Aussies, because it's really weird saying that. I should say the Wallabies, like a normal person. Big crowd here at Forsyth Barr, and a better atmosphere, I'd say. It's a bit of a hot box of noise at the moment.
Yeah, it's a hell of a stadium. You're so close into the ground. It's what you love. But like Waikato Stadium, some stadiums around the world, especially in New Zealand, quite far away. Westpac Stadium's it's absolute devil for that. I couldn't quite think of the word, but I don't think criminal, you can ever refer to a stadium as a criminal. I don't think the cops are coming after them like they did with Rolly Hickey, but that's another story for another time. Shit, that's going to be a good one to talk about someday.
Yeah, well, I would assume that the next break and play we'll probably have a talk about it, because we don't really have endless things to talk about. Genya feeds it to the scrum, monstered by the All Blacks, but Nigel Owens nicely plays along, I should say. Lost forward, and now the All Blacks have an opportunity. Overlap and off to Damien McKenzie on the far side. Off to Savia. Midfield they are now. On the 50-metre line. Advantage comes. A little bit of a worked play, and now Beauden Barrett finds himself in space. He finds Anton Leonard-Brown. But he's lost it forward. So they'll go back. And, well, Nigel Owens, he's playing some huge advantages in this game.
Yeah, the Old Wallabies, they'll be happy that penalty got called, because there was a 4-on-1. But the back defence of Israel Folau just managed to cut out that All Blacks attack, and they're looking like they're going to score, but couldn't quite get there, and they'll come back 30-odd metres to the 50-metre line, where it looks like they'll kick it downfield again and look to set another attack and put some more points on the board and claw this lead of the Australians back just a little bit more.
Yeah, I just got a message on the Instagram. Kia ora koutou. Give MF13_Kiwi a bit of a follow, because he's a GC. I won't say what a GC means.
Good companion, I will.
Oh, yeah, yeah, thanks for the save there. Barrett pumps it into the stand, so once more, a line out on the far side of the field, on the 22-metre line, so the backs to do some hard yards and work a play here in the last 5 minutes of the half. Crotty finds himself in the tunnel. He looks relatively good, so the concussion test may have worked. They have the pill, the All Blacks. Liam Squire in midfield, charges to the 22. Aaron Smith again. Now they find some space, the All Blacks. Sonny Bill Williams holds on to the ball for once. And again, grubber kick through by Barrett. And safe as houses by Will Genya. But they're going to need to clear this safely, the Wallabies. Penalty to New Zealand, though. Holding on. Well, I first thought it was going to Australia, that. But Nigel Owens has done somewhat of a Rodney Edmonds type signal there, Bradley.
Yeah, he's chucked one hand one way, one hand the other, then decided after he chucked his hands in the air what the hell he's actually going to call.
Yeah, probably sort of saving your ass there if you're Nigel Owens. Put both hands up, then have a think about it, and then say, no, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, he's done that a little bit tonight. He's been a bit wayward with his calls. Got most of the right ones in the end, besides that one TMO decision, but I think we'll harped on about that one enough. And we'll have a scrum. Shit, that's a call and a half.
Yeah, well, they have the dominance to the All Blacks, but I must say, if you're Michael Cheika or any Australian fan, you ought to be a little bit pissed off about what's going on in terms of that foul play decision. Although in the end, I suppose they are getting looked after massively scrum time by Nigel Owens.
Yeah, the Wallabies have been monstered 5, 6, 7 metres back, but no penalties been blowing against them yet. As they look to set another one, this is going to be dangerous stuff just 5 metres out from their own try line. All Blacks are going to hold it at the back and they're going to look to monster them. And I think we might see some budgie smugglers again from the Wallabies.
Damn straight. New Zealand haven't lost a scrum on their own feed in a bloody long time. In fact, they haven't lost one this year. The shunt comes on. Ball comes out. They lose it forward. And the Australians are elated because that's basically their get-out-of-jail-free card done for the half. And, well, that's almost the half-time, the half-time signal that they need. They clear it out and maybe that's the end of it. But he's going to have a talk to the assistant referee, Wayne Barnes. So that's a bit interesting.
Yeah, it was loose stuff from the back in at the back from Kieran Reid. Just lost control of it, kicked it into his own player. It came squirting out. Aaron Smith wasn't expecting it. He went to scramble and pick it up. Lost it forward. Nigel Owen saw it, but we're going to go back for a penalty. That call has come late. But it looks like we're going to set another scrum, you'd imagine.
You'd assume so. It was pointed out to me earlier in the chat that someone said, I wonder why blue bottles are called blue bottles. They don't look like a bottle, although I grant you they do have a blue arse. So this guy is going to say that from now on, he's going to call blue bottles blue arses. Yeah,
Yaved's just said he's got to leave us and catch a flight back to Auckland. Safe travels, Yaved. Hopefully, there's no MH317 shit going on with your plane. Have a safe trip back home, and I'm sure you'll miss us.
Yeah, good on you, Javed Khan. Big shout out, big fan. And, you've been a long time listener, certainly for the last 40 minutes anyway. So Aaron Smith about to feed the scrum. And a little bit of a juxtaposition on that scrum time because New Zealand get the feed. Throws it in. Comes back to him. Little bit of a wayward scrum there. Sonny Bill Williams. Looking dangerous. Aaron Smith finds some support. Goes over the line. But he's going upstairs. But I think that Ben Smith has scored this. And that's a beautiful try if he has.
He's reached out longer than the bloody Great Wall of China to score that one. Looks like he would have got there unless there might be a slight knock on. I think it's the only saving grace you could find for the Wallabies. Although it wouldn't surprise me if that's happened because they seem to get everything else going their way. As we take a look, dives out, stretches out the hand. And it's down, and that's a try to the All Blacks, to Ben Smith.
Well. Heartbreaking for an Australian fan because they're going to the sheds probably looking at a 17 points to 14 scoreline. So she's all locked up at half time, you would assume.
I see your reply to the guy saying about the prediction in 4 rounds. That's actually what McGregor's predicted. So that's not a big call. It's quite a common call. But
wow! If you're a McGregor fan,
who wouldn't be? He's an absolute friggin' legend.
I'm against him. I'm not racist. I like Floyd Mayweather. Anyway, we won't get into any racism sort of social issues on a rugby game.
We're still looking at this, so obviously they've seen something I haven't. I made the call pretty early.
Yeah, well, Rowan Kit probably hasn't heard yet, Brad. You might want to flick him a message.
Should I speak a little bit louder?
Yeah.
Because if I actually yell, I don't think the noise will change with how I've set the mic up.
I probably would, to be fair.
No, I don't think it would, see?
Oh,
I just yelled.
Okay, well, goodness gracious.
Do you want to try it yourself?
No, I probably won't. Well, they're looking up at the big screen, probably admiring themselves, the referees. The vain people they are. No try! Oh! What is he saying? Nigel Owen says he's not in control of the ball. This is the second decision Rowan Kitt's cocked up this match.
Michael Check is not even smiling. He looks upset that's happened.
And Steve Hansen. Steve Hansen takes a swig of his H2O and shakes his head like a grumpy father has just seen his son lose the ball forward.
He's like a man on the sideline. He's probably yelling at his team to make a tackle or two.
Oh, that's a horrible call. Well, at least I suppose you can be consistently good or consistently bad. Rowan Kitt, well, in this case, he's consistently bad.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit bad. He's only had to make 2 calls. He's not 100%. He's not 50%. He's 0%. But, he's got room to improve that figure later on in this match.
Boosted Cuppa says that these GGAHS called us that racial term are cooked. Well, and then someone says KKK underneath. Well, we're both white people, so we're not that sort of person. Anyway, a penalty to the All Blacks, and a little bit of a push and shove, but the All Blacks get the penalty. And they look to take it quickly and get this possible try that they were denied beforehand.
They've called another scrum, which is not a surprise. It's about the 1500th there has been in this match. Michael Hooper's not happy about it. They'll come over a little bit. TJ Perenara is cracking up in the background. They're having a chat. But the clock's actually gone red, but they're only 39 minutes and 57 seconds gone.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different to your clock, Bradley.
No, I can't actually change that.
Okay, roger that. Nigel Owens has a bit of a chin wag, a little bit of a corridor with the team skippers, I should say, and we're going to set another scrum. The Australians need to work on it because they're getting monstered at scrum time, although
I think that's why they took Stephen Moore off to try and improve things a little bit. Did a little bit, but not too much.
Well, I think that's maybe why the Australians are doing so well in every other facet of the game, because in a scrum time you don't actually get to see Stephen Moore's face. So maybe the All Blacks might not be as scared, but around the other field where you see Stephen Moore's face, that's when you are a little bit scared. So a little bit of psychological work by the Wallabies tonight.
The Wallabies are going to be digging deep for this one. Last play before the before the end of the first half, as the ball comes in and it comes out, strong scrum from the Wallabies. They're holding in there.
Aaron Smith wants to keep it going. A little bit of a dart. Can he go over the line? Yes, he can. Try time to the All Blacks. And finally, they get over the line after a long and sustained period of attack. They finally get the treats.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for the All Blacks team. Been so close so many times. Aaron Smith, his mistress from the toilet, will be happy with this one. He gets a bit of a meat pie and he adds 5 to the tally for the All Blacks.
Yeah, well, the All Blacks, they're as pumped up as a bouncy castle for that one. And fair enough. Well. We'll head to the sheds, looking probably at a 14 points to 17 scoreline. Unless, of course, Beauden Barrett shanks this one. And, wouldn't be surprised if he does, because he's a little bit hot and cold. But, he gets it through the H. We head to the sheds, and it's half time. It is 17 points to 14. No one really would have picked this at a halftime score. Before we go, we will be back for the second half. Make sure you stick with us. Make sure you have a little bit of a look at pyjama.co.nz, specifically pyjama.co.nz/donate to donate to the cause. Help us keep the lights on here at Pyjama. And of course, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, like us on Facebook. You'll probably find us because not many people are called Pyjama online. Nonetheless, we'll see you after the break. We're back into it here in Dunedin. Kia ora koutou katoa. I'm not bilingual, but I know that line for sure. As we get back into the action here in Dunedin, the teams are out here ready to go, and a little bit of a contrast to what many people were expecting. The Wallabies 17, the All Blacks 14, in a 5-try bonanza in the first half. Allow Hooper and Foley 3 in a row for the Wallabies, and then of course Ioane and Aaron Smith for the All Blacks, which brings it to only tries or converted tries to the scoreline. Big fans of rugby will love that one. Welcome back, Bradley.
Thank you.
Just thought I'd say that. Make sure you feel welcome to the second half.
I know, I feel very welcome. Thank you, Jake, into the second half.
Thank you. Just,
thank you.
You're making me blush here, Bradley.
Oh.
Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. Have a bit of a yarn with us as Nige Owens blows his whistle. Not quite that whistle, if you know what I mean. He is like that, though. Ball goes down at the 22. Liam Squire jumps quite vertically there and comes back down to ground. So he doesn't hover. So it's good to see he's a normal person after all. The mullet tries to lead us astray in that respect. The All Blacks have the pill. He gets the ball again, does Squire. Looking to get it out of here, though, as the seagull is still floating around this enclosed stadium. The ball goes down to Dane Haylett-Petty, and he tries to work a bit of magic. Sonny Bill Williams, I missed out a fundamental part of that name, tries to hold him up but can't do so. The Wallabies on the attack now. On the third phase, they have it. Dane Haylett-Petty into their half they go. Once again, retention is key here, and they're doing it well, the Wallabies. Firing it left, a little bit of a lobbed pass off to Henry Spate, the New Zealander, playing in this Australian team. Someone might call him Judas, you wouldn't be wrong, as the ball goes out.
Well, to be fair, he's made an absolute living for himself moving to Australia, so he may be Judas, but he's a damn successful Judas.
I think you can just thank the... that's a full pass. Goodness gracious. But Wayne Barnes is on the sideline, so fair enough. He wouldn't catch that. The All Blacks have it. Now they're looking dangerous. A little bit of a 1-2 shimmy. Pass is good. Now Ben Smith has the ball. 10-metre line of Australian territory they go. A little bit of a shepherd midfield, and he's going to call it. To be honest, Brodie Retallick didn't really help himself there. He kind of stopped and knew what happened. If he carried on, maybe he would have carried on.
Yeah, Kane Hames just ran straight through two Australian players like it was a game of bull rush. Not quite on the schoolyard as Kane. It's not a game of scrag or anything, so you can't do that.
I tell you, this is textbook rugby here by the Australians. Certainly in the first half, this is what some people, Bradley, would call champagne rugby.
Just a little bit. I wouldn't say it's called textbook rugby, considering the other game's gone, but I think that was a bit of a stretch.
Oh, look, I'm just excited. I'm jazzed up for this one. Nepo Laulala. I actually interviewed him once, and I asked him I said general comments of the game, and he didn't talk for the first 10 seconds. He ummed and ahed. I was quite nervous there, Bradley.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, carry on. Rory Arnold takes it down. Genya off to Kurandrani. Now on the forward side of the field. Marvellous painting job. You got to give kudos to those guys. They know what they're doing. Just like the Wallabies at this point in the game. Inside the 22 of the All Blacks territory they are. The reinforcements have come on, and Sekope Kepu's one of them. Come to the back of the ruck now. Finds Rob Simmons in his 73rd match for the Wallabies. Lost forward. And we'll have another scrum, but the All Blacks will be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, good defence. Wallabies didn't get too much ground. They were a bit stagnant. Ned Hannigan, shit, that's a hell of a last name. I kept screwing it up. He had a couple of good runs, but good tackles by the All Blacks. Kane Hames especially, bit of a monster on defence, just 3.5 minutes into the second half.
Warren Burney says, can we have some new commentators? Unlucky, mate. You're stuck with us.
You poor soul.
You poor soul. I do apologise that you are, to be fair, I feel your pain. Oh, shiter! Oh, that's no good. We're looking at red card material here for Tatafu Pilota now. Surely. Oh, that's rough. Bowden Garrett gets a knee to the head. Although, to be fair, Rowan Kit, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing tonight, so fair enough. Australia to feed the scrum. 5 minutes gone in the first half. Sorry, the second half. I don't know what the hell what's wrong with me. I think you've spiked my drink, Bradley. They go wide and Israel Folau, can he get a second? No, he can't, but the ball's loose. And Aaron Smith picks it up. So they look to clear it and exit out of this area of the field, this dangerous area that the Wallabies have been looking very, very good in. Advantage comes, penalty comes as a result. And that's not too much of a good result for the Wallabies.
Yeah, 5 metres out were the Wallabies. They need to get to points early in this second half. They need to get back on top. The All Blacks have probably owned the last 10 minutes of that first half. Wallabies fading a little bit. They're going to need to lift again. Maybe the lights need to go off. Maybe that's what got them fired up and lit a fire under their asses, maybe.
I think you could say so. Israel Folau, look, I mean, if he was running towards you, you probably wouldn't want to stop him unless your life sort of depended on it. Although, to be fair, I think you're gonna get killed anyway.
Unless you're an international rugby player, then tackling's not that hard.
I'm meaning for Joe Blogg, Bradley. I'm meaning for General Joe Blogg.
Just drop a shoulder and she'll be right. Grass cut him. He's tall.
Oh, that's
Go
true.
for the legs.
That's true. Lima Sopuaga comes on for Bowden Barrett. He goes to get the questionnaire sorted down the tunnel through the concussion test.
A vote compass.
Yeah, I reckon. I've done that, by the way. A little bit of an interesting result. We'll talk about that later. Kieran Reid takes it down from the line out, off to Aaron Smith, and a little bit of a worked play. And now Rico Ioane gets the ball. I swear to God, if I call him Digby Ioane, Bradley, you can punch me in the head. No. If I do it again, I didn't mean it like that. Neck roll there by Dane Cole, second time in the match, but he'll get away with it. Oh, that's rough. I feel as if I'm more excited to see the foul play in this game than anything. Fair enough, it's a New Zealand-Australia derby. New Zealand, anyway. The All Blacks have it. And deep inside the Wallabies territory here. 6 minutes gone, still the same score as the halftime break. Now they whip it inside. Ioane, can he go all the way? No, he can't. On the 5 metre line now. Works it wide. Moody, interception by Kurtley Beale. And it's whipped off to Henry Spate. And that's booted downfield. It's a foot race between Henry Spate and what I believe to be Lima Sopuang. A beautiful tackle. And now they're inside the 22 of Australian territory. New Zealand need to clear this. But such a story of the night for the Wallabies to do such a thing. Kieran Reid on the deck. And now they're looking to clear through way of McKenzie. But one off run by Ben Smith. Surging run by Artie Savia now. A new phase is mounted. This crowd is just on their feet here in Dunedin. They whip it again and try to work back to where they were a moment ago. Finally gets to the backs. Now they're working it well. Ryan Crotty. In fact, it was Sonny Bill Williams. But the Australians have taken the ball. I'm going to have a drink of water.
And they boot it downfield. Does Will Guinea. He wasn't playing halfback for that one. And it's gone into the hands of Rico Ioane. Fakes the kick but runs upfield. And it's been a knock on by Australia, but will play on.
Comms failure, so they carry on to the referees. Well, she's a shambles in the glass house tonight. Genya finds some tall timber. Foley now finds the gap. Can he penetrate it? No, he can't. Oh, that was close. And now the All Blacks have it. She's all over the show. Ben Smith on the right wing. Down to ground. But Nigel Owens says we'll have a little bit of a break. My God.
It's like someone dropped this. It's like a bloody lolly scramble with a whole bunch of kids. Everything's happening everywhere, and you have no idea who's going to come out alive.
Well, I couldn't agree more. My goodness. Well, this is just beautiful rugby to watch. And look, I'm lost for words, Bradley. I need a break. I need a breathe. So I can't even pronounce things right anymore. I just need a break.
Yeah, well, we're setting up a scrum. It's going to be All Blacks ball just inside their own 22. Been scrambling stuff from the All Blacks to get close, and they boot it back downfield. And Michael Check is animated. He's yelling. He's pointing. I don't think he realises Nigel Owens can't actually hear him from the commentary box, but that won't stop him nonetheless.
Yeah, well, scrum time again. And the All Blacks looking dangerous in this facet of the game. Nigel Owens calls crouch bind set, the Welshman. Not quite the same as his game midweek as Nigel Owens. Ben Smith. A little bit of a work play now. Liam Squire, the stunned mullet, gets the ball and he takes it forward. Nepal Aulala goes for a run. Well, if you're a prop, stand up and clap, because that was a good 5 metres. Once again, the All Blacks. Through whale, I think it was Anton Leonard-Brown. Well, someone with a 20 on their back. Lima Sopoaga, I apologise. New phase is mounted. Aaron Smith finds Savia. And he goes again. Finds a gap, does McKenzie. Can't offload it though. He was kind of like an eel out of water there. Just all over the place. But now the All Blacks try to sustain some sensibility to this. Inside the 22. McKenzie plays halfback. Gets the ball back inside. My goodness gracious. I'm about to have a stroke. Hooper's offside, but he's going to play anyway. A loss forward by the All Blacks. And they look to clear. Curtly Beale hopefully puts it into touch. He does so. And goodness gracious me.
It's a much needed break for everyone as the Seagull, who still hasn't found a way out and chases after the ball. Maybe he's just the fifth ball boy for the night because one of them didn't show up.
Well. Surging runs by the All Blacks. And it's brilliant to see. The All Blacks again. In midfield, have the pill. The stunned mullet has the ball again. They flick it to the left now. And our captain, Fantastic, has the ball. On the Investec sign on the field. I've always wanted to paint a field, Bradley. I didn't want to really use house paint because I thought that would do damage to the grass.
Oh, fair enough.
Just thought I'd use that story there. Penalty comes to the All Blacks. And now this is an interesting call because they're dead centre in the middle of the field, 38 metres out. What do?
You take the point, you even things up, and you tell Jake to stop bloody bouncing on his chair because you can hear that in friggin' China.
Sorry, I'm just getting excited, Bradley, like any kid on a bouncy castle, on a trampoline. I'm excited.
Try and calm it down a little bit. Maybe you need to stop Snapchatting your girlfriend.
Oh, that's come out, eh? Oh, that's a good one, Bradley.
Thank you.
Anyway, this is a big call.
Is he taking the drop kick? Surely.
Oh, scheisse. If he takes a drop kick, no, he's not going to take a drop kick. It's more of a drop punt. And that goes into touch. Big call, though. And that's a huge game decision. Probably not a sensible one by the All Blacks.
Yeah, it's going to go two ways. They either get it over and it's sensible, or they don't get it over and it's not sensible.
Well, yeah.
Makes sense either way, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I suppose you've got to take that risk.
As the case
anyway, a bit of a move. I do a little bit of a clap because I'm excited. I've probably taken too many pills today. They go over the line. Is it held up? Nigel Owens, he's on his knees. He's not proposing to his boyfriend, but he says it's a try. The All Blacks surge ahead. And we surge to 19 points. 19 plays 17, and that's the Giraffe who gets the try. His third career try for the All Blacks, and that's power.
Yeah, it all started from the line-out move of the All Blacks. Adi Savi, third attempt, third time's the charm, came running through the middle of the line-out. Quick ball from the hooker, and who's the bloody hooker? Cody Harris goes to him.
God, there's no Cody.
Cody Taylor, that's the one. Comes round, gets about 1 metre out. They set again through Brodie Retallick, and it's a 4-man drive over the line, and they get the points on the board, and they take a 2-point lead for their first lead of the match.
That is, well, the All Blacks are a second half team, certainly in that sort of last 20 minutes, but great positioning there by Nigel Owens. Probably not the first time he's been in that position.
Just to clarify, he is deep down low on his knees.
Yes, he is indeed on a white line. Does he like the white line? Probably not.
He's not a league player.
Yeah, he doesn't like the white lines that the NRL boys like. But beautiful position. Look at that. That's just superb.
Great camel work right on the arse of Owens.
Well, any Nigel Owens fan, they'd love that angle. I'll give you that.
Oh, you can't actually see the ball grounded, which is part of the problem.
Are they going to the TMO, Bradley?
I think I might have. I think time's off and I've forgotten. I've been so into this bloody positioning in Nigel Owens.
Well, fair enough, because he's a beautiful man.
There's no conclusive evidence that the ball's on the ground.
Yeah, but Nigel Owens said it was, Brad. And if Nigel Owens says the ball's on the ground, the ball's on the ground.
Nigel Owens hasn't had the greatest of matches tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if he's got another thing wrong.
Oh, someone's just said a very homophobic comment in the chat. Well, shame on you. That wasn't very nice. Nigel Owens, actually, I've got a story about Nigel Owens. One of my friends, Nigel Owens actually tried to take one of my friends home to his hotel while he was in Hamilton. That was not very, that's a bit awkward. Oh, the try's been disallowed. Oh, well, butter me bum and call me Betty, because that is a decision and a half.
I'm not sure what they're going to do here, because Brodie Retallick is down that meat pie, and it's going to be hard to give it back. They might have to wait till the morning when he shits it back out.
Well, Brad, you changed the scoreboard.
It was damn well official.
So did the people at the game. But no, Nigel Owens decides to say, hey, looky here. We're going to disallow this. But I wouldn't be surprised if the All Blacks score again, though, because every single try they've got tonight, the two of them, they were disallowed, and then all of a sudden, next play, they get it. So why didn't we just not waste any time? The All Blacks get a penalty as a result of an advantage, so, oh, crikey, Dick.
Don't take another scrum, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's getting testy. They take the scrum. Bradley, as a hooker, you must be happy with that. As Jamie Nutt-Brown, he sends Beauden Barrett back on the field as the sub-controller. Good to see Jamie Nutt-Brown involved in Test match rugby.
Yeah, just to bring you back to another point, we've already been over this tonight. Hookers do not like scrums, nor does anyone in a scrum. They're horrible things.
I probably disagree. I really do. Sona Taumalolo, he loved a scrum.
He loved the scrum because they're about to bring France to the World Cup. Find me another time he's clapping after the 25th scrum in a game.
Probably any game he played. He's probably the most happiest guy you'll ever meet on a rugby field when it comes to a scrum.
Have you met him on a rugby field?
No, but I've been on a rugby field while I've been on the field, but not on the field, if you know what I mean. I've been on the grass, but not on the field.
When the hell was this?
Oh, I can't remember.
But you can remember it happening, you just can't remember any other details about it.
Yeah, I can remember it happened, but I can't remember it exactly. Anyway, feeds to the scrum. Aaron Smith, off to Sonny Bill Williams, that's stripped away, and the Wallabies have advantage. This is sublime to watch. Lost forward by Sonny Bill Williams, which brings his error rate to 4 lost forwards in the game. Well, he won't be liking the statistical analysis tomorrow at all. Another long advantage, says Owens, so we'll come back for a scrum, although to be fair, that's probably a very good thing for the All Blacks.
Someone's just called you a bullshit commentator. How do you react? How do you process that and provide your response?
Probably wouldn't disagree. I am bilingual.
Bullshit as well?
Yeah, bullshit in English and
a little bit of gibberish.
And then I can say kia ora koutou katoa, a little bit of an alliteration of Māori words, and so I'd like to say I know 3 languages.
Do you know Mandarin as well?
No.
Not the fruit.
No, I don't know Mandarin.
Not the fruit.
No. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah.
I just had to clarify twice there because you tend not to listen to shit the first time.
Oh, well, look at this. I actually wrote down Brodie Retallick's name on my score sheet. Gonna have to cross that out because that's incorrect. We've only had the 5 tries, of course, in the first half. Folau and Hooper and Foley back to back, which made it 17, which is what they've got now. And then Ioane and Smith, Aaron Smith, that is, get converted tries each. So 17-14, and there's your justification about why the score is like that. Didn't want to, put any thoughts in your mind or, say that we're commentating a made-up game and that this game isn't actually happening or anything.
No, I'm pretty sure it's happening.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we're that skilled to commentate a fake rugby game.
Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, someone says, talk English, and then he says, I know Aboriginal. Well, I didn't actually ask, so I don't care. Anyway, Genya flicks it into the scrum, and looks like it's Michael Hooper that came out with it. Now they work it back, and Foley puts it into the grandstand, so that's gone out. And we'll have a line out. Sam Cane, he looks a little bit angry on the sideline, having to go off for a concussion test that he failed.
Every time the ball goes in the air, of course, the seagull being in the stands in the stadium, I get a little bit scared whether I've mistaken the ball for the seagull and I'm watching the wrong thing, because I know I'm going to end up watching the seagull and the ball's going to be 20 metres the other direction.
Hey, this Apocalypse guy said, commentator, I know 2 languages. I know you've said that, mate. Like, you don't have to tell me again. And my name's not commentator, it's Jake. So thanks, mate. Welcome to the chat. Whoever's just put their name in, it's quite interesting. Kia ora koutou katoa. That's my name. That's my thing that I'm saying. Good for you. I'll get back to the game. And with 57 minutes gone, back into it. The All Blacks. Shimmy past one. Does a bit of a scoot. Does Ryan Crotty. He's been playing out of his skin for the last few games. I'll give you that much. He's a bit of a veteran of New Zealand rugby. Certainly first class level. Now, on the back foot, the All Blacks go. Whipped back, and now Brodie Retallick plays halfback. Vintage Barrett, he kicks it through and now puts pressure on the Wallabies. That's gone into touch, and the Wallabies, however, will concede a penalty, and Nigel Owens goes back for it. So, another big call here, Bradley. Do you go for the points, take the draw, and then work from there, or do you do another stupid All Black game? Decision, I should say.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that question, because actually it's something else I wanted to talk about. So, Brodie Retallick started flailing his arms in the tackle like he was doing a 100-metre backstroke at his high school swimming sports. Like, he was going off.
Apocalypse says, okay, Jake, you're a dickhead and you can't commentate for shit. Well, unfortunately, mate, you spelt you're wrong. So that's a bit of an awkward thing. I might not be able to commentate, but you can't spell.
I think penguin clips might be a little bit retarded.
Yeah, I'd rather not be able to commentate than not be able to spell. So I think.
No, I was talking about he bet $100 on the bees.
Oh, crikey! Yeah, no. Well, I think you might be looking at a reasonably feasible bet at the moment. Although 20 minutes, the last 20 is where it is all. So it'll be interesting to see.
It will be.
It will be.
It will be.
Amen, sister. Throws it in. Gone to the back of the line out. Not contested by the Wallabies, but beautifully sacked. So the rolling maul is done away with. Aaron Smith marshalling the troops around. They flick it along on the 5 metre line. Now Laulala, the man who moved from the Crusaders to the Chiefs and started with the Chiefs this year. Now flicked along to his fellow front rower and Dane Coles. One-off runners and pick and goes are imminent here in this area of the field. Once again, Squire. The advantage comes. And penalty comes as well. Nigel Owens says, take it back. And with a little bit of urgency, scoots back to the mark to make it.
I was about to say that there's so many penalties in this match that Nigel Owens couldn't count them on his hands, but he is Welsh, so he's probably got quite a few fingers for a multitude of different areas and holes.
You love different areas and holes, don't you, Bradley?
The 22 is a good area.
Well, I'm sure they'll take a scrum here, the All Blacks, because they seem to have very illogical decisions tonight. And look, I think they're probably not respecting the Wallabies as much as they should have. And kudos to the Wallabies because they've come out and absolutely showed the All Blacks what to do, I should say, when it comes to their opportunities.
I think our chat might need a bit of Grammarly because some of the mistakes that some of these guys making is worse than a bloody unplanned pregnancy.
Yeah, well, I know Apocalypse Dark Set or whatever the hell that is would know all about an unplanned pregnancy. Certainly,
maybe
that's pretty close to home.
Just don't want to be a bit too serious, but maybe a failed abortion.
Yeah, maybe. I feel as if there's a seagull once more. Seagulls hasn't removed itself from Forsyth Barr.
He's sitting on the ground now.
Well, I'm feeling as if he's probably got the best position in the world right now on the field, and no security guards telling him to bugger off.
Do you think that's maybe actually Rowan, the TMO?
Probably, to be fair.
He's a Hare Krishna and just got reincarnated as a bird.
Yeah. Well, he must have. Oh, Bradley. Apparently you're one of those bad words too. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I swear to God, everyone is. He'd probably call his own mother one.
Yeah, you're not very nice tonight. Apocalypse Dark Set or whatever. Get a cool name for your channel, because I can't understand it.
Like PYJAMA or something.
Yeah, cool as bananas. And anyway, Aaron Smith feeds to the scrum. Work move, they go to the blind side. Can they get over? Beauden Barrett puts it down. It's a try to the All Blacks. Although, we better not put it on the scoreboard yet, because apparently we might not say it's a try until maybe 10 minutes' time.
Now, I've called it a try. I'm going to go out on a limb, or 4 limbs, because I have 4 of them, and say that it is a try.
I've got 5 of them, Bradley. I won't tell you where my 5th one is.
I actually have 6, because you got like a shoulder, you got 2 elbows, you got another shoulder, you got a couple of legs.
I wasn't referring. Don't worry.
Oh no, those are joints, not limbs.
Yeah, I wasn't referring to.
Your mouth?
No. Anyway, no, Beauden Barrett, good try from him. Brad, he took us through that on the live action replay that's not live.
Yeah, well, I missed the first half of that try. I saw a winger. It came off a scrum, I believe, or maybe a line out. He ran around, ran 5 metres backwards, ran 5 metres forward, ran another 5 metres forward, ran over the try line and dived a little bit.
And then put the ball down, of course.
Yeah. Well, you got to do that to score a try.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah, we've got Sizzler Sam backing us up.
Sizzler Sam.
those reminds me of the Sizzler. You remember the Sizzler sausages back in the day with like the cheese in the middle?
Oh, I love them. A little bit of tomato sauce on some bread with butter. I know you don't like your butter, but...
Are you an onion man?
No, I wasn't. I was a bit of a boring old sausage. Excuse the pun. God of nations, at thy feet. F Australia, because they are sheet. Oh, I rate that. Major pain. That is not a major pain. I'll give you that much. Oh, it's another word for shit.
Oh.
Anton Leonard-Brown comes on, and I tell the stories every single time he comes on.
Don't do it. I will punch you if you say it.
No, I've got to say
I'll punch you if you say it.
I've got to say he slept in my bed. He slept in my bed once, not while I was in it, but I was sleeping next door. And
did he kick you out of his bed?
No, Anton Leonard-Brown had kicked me out of my bed.
What bed did you sleep in?
I slept on a mattress next door.
Were you sleeping in a bed premarital? Like someone else's bed premarital?
Yeah, but they weren't in it.
Oh, you need to clarify those shit.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought I was clear with Anton Leonard-Brown. I didn't sleep with him, but I slept in the same bed as him.
Interesting fact about that story. Every time Jake brings it up on a commentary, I have to act like I've never heard this story before.
Yeah, I know. Just for those viewers or the listeners or whatever you want to call them that aren't enlightened by the story, an All Black has slept in my bed. And, I'm pretty proud of that. Probably, that's actually at the top of my CV.
A Waikato representative slept in my bed.
Oh, that's... interesting. Anyway.
That's myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Waikato representative slept in my bed too.
I haven't slept in your bed.
Huh? I'm not meaning you. I'm meaning there's many. Oh, and they got the conversion, by the way. So 21 plays 17. And there's a few substitutions. Brady, do you want to carry on?
Are you doing writing down the substitutions? Samuel Whiteclock climbs high. The caveman he is. He takes it down. They try and set him all, but it goes absolutely freaking nowhere. But they move forward a little bit. Aaron Smith has the back, fires a bullet back to Beauden Barrett, boots the shit out of it downfield. It's gone a long way, as a kick normally does, because he's got a hell of a leg on him.
I'll jump in now as my acid reflux goes down all right. Israel Folau on the 10-metre line of their own territory, the Wallabies. Flicked off, and McMahon loses it, and advantage comes. They get another scrum, the All Blacks. 4 points ahead now. For the first time in the game, they go ahead. But it's taken them 60 minutes to do so. Interesting stuff
Here's a little bit of a pun for you. McMahon had no chance of catching that ball. And some of you will get that. Most of you probably won't. I don't think Jake's got it himself.
Well, I think I'm going to just go on a little bit out on a bit of a limb from what you were saying, because Braden's just said, God of Nations, in their head we will win, and crap in their shed. I don't think that's how the New Zealand anthem somewhat goes at all.
He's also used the wrong Zia, which I think is the biggest talking point from that.
Oh, okay. Campo just once shagged a mate in Cape Town. Oh, goodness gracious. Campo.
Who's Campo?
Can you, Jonathan Stitwell, can you just clarify who's Campo? There's a lot of Campos in the world. Scott Sioko's off, and Tom Robertson comes on to make his 11th appearance. And
I think you meant 11th appearance for this match for a moment. Like, shit, he must have been a lot of concussions. But no, I was wrong once again.
Apocalypse has just been called a dumb dog. Wouldn't disagree. The All Blacks have the ball in the back of the scrum. And goes off to Damien McKenzie, as I say, the hairless rat. Flicked it along to Dane Coles. 16 to go. Once again, the All Blacks in good field position, putting the acid on the Wallabies. Lopeti Tamani goes head over biscuit, but flicked off to Anton Leonard-Brown, and he takes it to ground. Now Barrett once more, grub a kick through, but the Wallabies can scramble upon it. The Seagull floats away, because that was a dangerous position for the Seagull to be in. We'll call it Sally the Seagull, even though it's a guy.
He was in offside position, so he had to get right out of there.
Who was? Sally was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Falau scrambled upon it. And now it's whipped back to Foley. He pumps it into touch, so we'll have a bit of a break in play. And just like to thank the sponsors of this broadcast, Oxygen. We all, I suppose, to be fair, we wouldn't be here without it. So thanks to Oxygen for all it does for personally myself and in this broadcast. And, got to plug the sponsors.
Yeah, me too. I also wouldn't be alive without Oxygen, the sponsor for this evening. I repeat once again, Oxygen, this sponsored us. As the lineout's taken quickly, Jake has no idea what the hell's going on because he's too busy scrolling his computer up and down for some reason.
Yeah.
As Sally makes another appearance and the All Blacks are on attack.
Yeah, I was trying to look at what this comments are saying in the chat. She's all go. Oh, Sizzler Sam comes through. I'll tell you something of what he says soon. He's a GC. I'll give you that, a good companion. The Aussies have the ball now. And now they're on the attack. Kenya looking to go left. They do so. McMahon goes on a bit of a double round play. Vintage stuff there. Out of the year 5 and 6 playbook, you'd say. Kenya on the 50-metre line. Bit of a shimmy. Show and go by Kenya. Makes about 10 metres. 40 metres out from their line. On the 10-metre line of All Blacks territory, the Wallabies are. Making the game line time after time here, the Wallabies. Kenya on the short ball finds McMahon. They go again the right way. Hooper in midfield. Savia takes him down. They go left again. Looking dangerous. We're in for a grandstand finish here in Dunedin. McMahon goes for it. Kenya, shimmy, goes over the line, try time. Well, Kenya, that is beautiful.
He goes right up to the... Couldn't have cut that any closer to the ruck. He runs about 15 metres. He beats the two flailing attempts from the All Blacks defence at the back from it looks like it was Israel Dagg and Anton Leonard-Brown. He goes over and puts the Australians back in front by 1 point.
Bradley, I probably won't be able to speak in about 10 minutes' time.
That's alright, because you're too busy bloody texting this whole match.
Oh, I did it 3 times.
I think you've hit double figures.
I do apologise, Bradley. I could say some very mean things right now, Bradley, but I'm going to carry on. Anyway, but back to what Sizzler Sam said. He said, surely Sky signs you boys up for next week to commentate. Sizzler Sam, I agree.
Well, I'm expecting a phone call. They haven't actually said anything, but I'm expecting it to come through. Sally, he has a way of getting into everything, and he gets into the shot of that try there. And, no one expected Australians to still be in it at this point of the match. About 10 minutes to go. It's a bit generous. There's about 12 minutes, actually, and they're back in front. And they're odds-on favourites to win this match, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I've got the bonus point. Of course, that's very crucial in a tournament like this. The Wallabies to convert and Bernard Foley to do so.
Yeah, well, I need to update the scores because I changed the wrong team. As they look, Bernard Foley eyes up his kick, and we'll just move the Australians up to 22 and New Zealand back to 21. It's been a hell of a night. I'm tired. I'm looking forward to the fight tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to the fight of the last 12 and a half minutes of this match as Bernard Foley looks to kick. Here he goes. He eyes up the ball. Nigel Owen's hands in the air. It's saying, stop, I don't like it. But he lets the Aussies run now. And it's off the post again for the second time in the match. And it's heartache from the Australians in the crowd. Probably because they're Australian, not probably because he missed his kick. But that's another story, and I don't want to upset more people because people have a habit of calling us a few bad words tonight. And I don't want any more of that because it hurts my feelings. But we look to get underway again through the boot of Beauden Barrett. He's back on the field after that concussion test. Sonny Williams somehow is still on the field because he's had a hell of a night. Dropped it 4 times, but we'll forget about that part. Nigel Owens is pointing at the crowd. Maybe he's finally noticed the seagull. Or he's just pointing at his men saying, get back a couple centimetres. I don't think they're quite offside. And Beauden Barrett raises it into the air and he kicks the shit out of it. It's taken well by the Australian Israel Folau climbing high. Will Guinea marshals his troops and they head it up once again to the gain line. Fires it back to the 22 and they put it up. It's been a theme of the night, bombing the shit out of it like Nagasaki. Jackson made his return and Damien McKenzie's running.
I heard a reference to Nagasaki, so I was all for it. Well, just like Truman, Sonny Bill Williams fires it off to Kieran Reid. And Perenara, of course, a new addition to the game. Passing it off to midfield Brodie Retallick. The ugliest man in world rugby. Definitely. I do apologise to any listeners that wanted to see me gone. I was only gone for a small portion of the game, and I do apologise for that. Ardie Savea in midfield though. Perenara waits, but fires it off to Beauden Barrett on the 7th phase now. Sonny Bill Williams off to Ben Smith. He's made a return to this game, Sonny Bill Williams, after being subbed by Anton Leonard-Brown. So a little bit of a reshuffle around as the bodies are getting battered. TJ Perenara again. Waits, but the men in gold are relentless in this defence. James Mattis would probably want to sign this Wallabies team up, to be fair. Sonny Bill Williams again. Perenara off to the big lanky daddy long legs. Brodie Retallick. He's as weird as a $3 bill. Certainly looking. Well, I say weird looking, and it goes to the cartoon character of Damien McKenzie. Sam Whitelock on the ground. Perenara finds Barrett. Now we work it into the 10-minute mark of this game. 10 minutes to go, and we're in for a good finish. Ardie Savea. Perenara flicks to McKenzie. Now they're going left. They're looking dangerous into the 22 of Australian territory. Far side of the field. Perenara finds big Sam Whitelock on the burst. Barrett, 10 metres out from the line. Double round almost by Perenara. Goes to Ben Smith. Smith in the corner. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's glorious. Some people would say, well, Bobby Roode would say that. And another wrestling reference for you fans out there. I'm not sure where they're all coming from tonight. I just happened to watch a YouTube video and that was in it.
Well, anyway, the All Blacks have scored a try, and my goodness, this game is really becoming harder to pick than a broken nose as the All Blacks surge ahead once more, only for the second time in the game. But we'll see the backlash from the Wallabies. But Bradley, talk us through that try.
Yeah, it came from a ruck baseball tee. Jad Perenara ran a little bit to Damien McKenzie. Damien McKenzie draws in the tackle after Vita Kurandrani and then offloads it over his head. So a bit of a nifty play there to the waiting hands of Ben Smith. Ben Smith runs around, runs back in a little bit, dives and places the ball this time. I'll add that into it.
Ben Smith, well, he was off like a Catholic bride after her reception. And now Michael Cheika, he's biting his nails because, so is Shag. Well, fair enough, because we're in for a bit of a finish.
That's the most emotion I've ever seen out of Shag in my life. Biting his nails is a sign that he may have a soul.
Well, certainly doesn't have a heart, does Shag. I tell you, he'd be a good poker player. Dane Coles praying, it looks like, to Allah, to God.
Is he a religious man?
To the rugby god of maybe William Webb Ellis. I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
Ali Williams. I wonder, he's still alive, isn't he?
Wait, hold on. Is the rugby god Ali Williams? Was that what you were meaning?
No, maybe it's Bucky's Border. Did you see him try and take a conversion the other day? It was worse than me. I could have done better with my left foot.
Barrett puts it up. Can he curl it in? He does so. It's through the sticks over the uprights and, 2 points added to the tally as Wayne Barnes puts his flag in the air. I once met Wayne Barnes. He took the piss out of the place I lived.
Morrinsville?
Yeah.
Oh.
He called it Tasmania. That wasn't very nice. I just took the piss out of one of the worst things that happened to him in 2007 with I made him do a funny photo with a forward pass, missed, it was classic gag that was. Australia kick off. Off to Kane Hames, the chief.
It was Sam Whitelock. I don't think they can lift Kane Hames.
Kane Hames took it to ground, Brad.
Oh.
We could go back for the replay, but I feel as if that would delay us even more. Kurtley Beale, ready to put it to the sky. Is it going across the horizontal plane of touch? No, they're going to play on. Barrett can't take it, so Perenara does. He finds Ioane, the young man of Rico Ioane. Squire in midfield. Penalty to the Australians. And decisions, Bradley. 6 minutes to go on the 40-metre line, right in the middle of the field. What do you do?
They've had very, very few opportunities to score in the second half. I think they're going to have to kick for touch and try and get the try and take the lead back from the All Blacks.
Oh, that's emotion by Cheika.
That's what I love to see. Don't just love to see him get angry.
Goodness gracious. Reece Hodge, well, he's got a set of hamstrings on him that could last a century because he can boot the ball from here to yonder.
How far is yonder?
See, no one knows, Bradley.
Is it a bit like a tick or a jiffy?
It's kind of like how long is a piece of string. No one knows, but it could be bloody long.
7.4 centimetres.
Well, that's if it's supposed to be 7.4 centimetres.
That's what I meant.
Sally is on the field again, taking it down, and they mount a maul. The New Zealanders holding it relatively well, and they've been told to use it once. They are looking lateral here, the Wallabies. Next stop is told to use it. They do so, the Wallabies. Foley off to Kurandrani in midfield. Over the ball goes Artie Savia for a jackal, but can't quite get there. Inside this 22, New Zealand territory. It's there again for Will Genia. Off to Pallotta now, and now Genia again finds it. Pallotta now once more. 3 metres out from the line. They've got opportunities. Over the line. The Wallabies get another. Try time. With 4.5 to go. Michael Cheika looks disgusted. I have no idea why, because his team's just scored a try that may win the game. 27 points to 28. And, well, that's a decision that's been paid off to kick for touch. A conversion right in front of the posts. We'll see it 29-28. We're in for a belter of a finish.
This is exactly what Australian rugby's needed. Easy stuff for Kurtley Beale in the end. And he boots it into the stand. He's happy with that one. He's got blood down the side of his face. Michael Cheika wasn't happy. He was bloody elated. He clapped twice. He didn't clap once, he did it twice.
Ute the Ducks. 4 tries apiece. In fact, sorry, that's the 5th try for the Australians. And Shrek Steve Moore, he looks a little bit worried on the sideline. Is Bernard Foley going to kick this with his left boot?
No.
Probably a good call not to do. I actually was refereeing a game today and I said to the guy, look mate, if you kick this with your left foot, I'll buy you a beer. But he didn't kick it with his left foot and I didn't buy him a beer. So that was... Anyway, we'll move on. It's 29 points, 28 under the glass house. And I say it is a hot box of an atmosphere here. And, well, we're in for a hectic 3 minutes. That's for sure. Lima Sopoaga to kick off.
Here we go. Time is off for some reason.
Well, I'm as nervous as a Jew in a concentration camp being told he's gone for a shower. Lost forward by the Australians, and now the All Blacks have the ball. On the 22-metre line of Australian territory, this is where they need to be. Quickly flicked along. Brodie Retallick does the Wiggles dance. Gets to ground eventually. Artie Savia, are they going to look for a drop kick? Sopoaga, quickly wicked along. Off to Kieran Reid. Beautiful try! Beauden Barrett! Oh, that is beautiful! My voice is cracking. I just don't know what to say anymore, Bradley. That was beautiful.
Yeah, well, Kieran Reid made a bust up the middle. He gives it inside to TJ Perenara. TJ Perenara gives it back outside to Beauden Barrett. And Beauden Barrett has a Sunday stroll over the try line for 5 points.
Well, he'll get his name in the local newspaper tomorrow. Beautiful try. Just found a gap inside to Perenara. And then beautiful textbook first 5 play to follow up there and get the try. Beauden Barrett, beautiful sight. Oh, that's just scintillating. That is just glorious.
You can see in the background every single hand of the Australian player went on their heads and just absolute disappointment and despair. They thought they'd won it. That bloody Aaron Smith on the sideline's happy because his mistress said if they get a W tonight, he's getting a W in the toilets.
Damn straight. I don't know what ones he'll use. Maybe the ones at the hotel. Or maybe he just goes straight to it at Forsyth Barr. He converts his own try. And we're in for these last 2 minutes. Oh, God, I'm not going to know what the hell's going to happen.
The Aussies have to get it back from their kickoff. They go up quick. There's a minute left to play on the clock. Time isn't off this time. That's a bit weird. Nigel Owens doesn't know. Probably forgot how to use his watch for a little bit there.
Nigel Owens has a very trendy sweatband on his wrist. That's for darn sure. The All Blacks get it from the kickoff. Only 35 seconds of retention needed to close the Bledisloe Cup for 2017. Tuanga Fasi rumbles it forward and goes to ground. No one adding to the ruck there from the Australians. Almost going down without a fight, which is so much of a contrast to what we've seen in this game. Counter ruck now from the Australians. Told to get out of there by Owens. Hooper goes round. The New Zealanders get the advantage. They run it into touch. But they get the penalty anyway. They'll kick it out surely.
They dodged a bullet there. They dodged a few to the All Blacks. Holy shit.
Sopoaga kicks it into touch. And that is it. 35-29. Oh, that was a game. And I'm probably not going to go to sleep tonight because I'm all jazzed up.
Holy shit, I could play a bloody trombone in the streets after that game. I'm so happy. It started off with a hiss and a roar, and it ended with a hiss and a roar. And it's fair to say it was a bit of a hiss and a roar in the middle too.
It was just a hiss and a roar all over the show. And that's just brilliant for Australian rugby. 29-35. With tries to Israel Folau, Michael Hooper, Bernard Foley, Ioane, and Aaron Smith for the All Blacks. But then, of course, Barrett gets 3. So it was, 2 in the match, and Genya and Beale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to count out loud because I'm not that advanced in my mathematics.
You gave it up in year 11, you bloody drop kick.
Oh,
tell you what, if 5 seconds left in a rugby match and they need 3 points, you know who they're calling on.
Well, Bradley. Oh, this is just, I'm shattered. I feel as if I've played the game as well as these people.
When was the last time you actually played a game of rugby? You might still be shattered from that.
I'd just like to divert your attention to someone saying thank you, I love you, to us. Probably the first time anyone's ever said that to us, so we appreciate that. Anyway,
it's always good to get a confession of love after a commentary.
Damn straight, Richard Tade Ketty. Yeah, I love you too, mate. Thank you. Nonetheless, Brady Richardson, your final thoughts of this game?
Well, it's been a hell of a game. It's exactly what Australia rugby needed. They needed to be close and they needed to really have a good opportunity of winning it. I don't think it quite mattered whether they got the W or not, but I think they just need a little bit of a spark back after what was a bit of a shit match last week.
Well, anyway, we want to thank our viewers, whether you're listening on the back roads of Morrinsville, if you're listening in Hamilton East, Hamilton West, Hamilton Central, and anywhere else around the world.
Maybe a bit of Australia.
Even Australia, and maybe, if we've hit North Korea, that's been always our goal to get a view from North Korea.
I think we'll give up commentary once we get a view from North Korea.
Amen, sister. Well, anyway, that is it from Dunedin. Thank you very much for your company. Make sure you like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz, and make sure you donate if you have the coin. PYJAMA.co.nz/donate to help us keep the lights on. That's right, yes, people have actually donated before. Absolutely crazy. Nonetheless, Apocalypse, good night to you. I hope you have a great sleep tonight. Nonetheless, the Wallabies, 29, the All Blacks, 35 from Dunedin.